What you'll notice about the Freightliner Argosy is its spacious cabin inside. It really does accommodate the driver. It creates a very good workplace, and it's been very well insulated where the noise abatement is throughout the whole cabin, in all the walls and the roof. Also, the manoeuvrability for the driver is incredible. The driver is not restricted anywhere. He can walk around freely around the cabin, either to get dressed, to stand up in on the mid-roof and the raised roof versions, as well as have plenty of room to be moved with the office desk and the cupboard space as well. So it's a very good workplace for the driver. What Freightliner Argosy also has is fantastic visibility through the screens. And as you can see here, we've got two very large screens, and both curved at the edge. And also what we have is a very low engineered dash. And this is where the engineers have lowered the dash, so it's not an aeroplane type dash. And that way you've got excellent visibility, and then the driver has a lot more confidence, and obviously it feels a lot safer. What you'll also notice in regard to the visibility is the fact that as we look out the windscreen here, the visibility out of the side windows is actually level with the windscreen. So we're not having to duck our head to look out of the mirrors or anything like that. So we leave our head at the same level all the time, and we just pan across as we need to. So it's obviously a far less head movement for the driver. Freightliner Argosy is equipped with either the Eaton manual or auto shift transmissions. And with the auto shift transmission, Freightliner have designed this very smart SmartShift control paddle. And this has really taken the auto shift to the next level. And even auto shift controls such as the Cobra control and others can't quite do what the SmartShift can do for the auto shift transmission. The driver can control the gearbox at all times, either through auto mode or by flicking across the little toggle switch to manual mode. Whilst in manual mode, the driver can upshift, like that, or if not downshift, as easy as the flick of a button. And whilst driving, if the driver wishes to, you can flick over again to auto shift control, and that way let the auto shift transmission take over. But whilst driving, the driver always has control of the transmission. So even in the automatic mode, the driver can override by flicking the lever either up or away from the steering wheel. And as you can see, whilst I'm operating the SmartShift control, I don't take my hands off the steering wheel, and I'm not taking my eyes off the road at all. Another bit of luxury for the driver is the quarter vent window. And as you can see here, the driver at any time can just open up the quarter vent window and just allow a bit of indirect fresh air to come into the cabin. So it's, again, another little convenience for the driver. Freightliner have positioned the driver's seat to be in line with the steering wheel. And as you can see here, the driver's seat's not been compromised with an engine tunnel or anything. So the driver is in dead line with the steering wheel, and that way the driver's back and spine is as it should be for long haul trips. And that way at the end of a long trip, the driver's not sore or doesn't have to sort of come out and straighten their back or anything like that. What you'll also notice is the fantastic mirrors that we have here. Very big and very good for rearward vision. As you can see here, they're both remotely controlled, left hand and right hand, and they both have mirror heaters too for the foggy environments. The steering wheel has all sorts of adjustments which are controlled by a foot valve beneath the dash, which you can either go up or down or in and out. So all positions are covered for with the Argosy. The Freightliner Argosy has a very good layout for the dash. It's wraparound, and as you can see, it's made up of two major sections. We do call the A dash and the B dash. The A dash has all the gauges. On the left hand side we have the engine gauges, and to the right we have the vehicle gauges. And on the left hand side here we have all of the controls and switches. Many of the controls and switches are made of a soft material so that they don't cause injuries in case of an accident. Many of the switches are what you'd expect in a truck, but we do have some special features in the Freightliner Argosy. One of those being the fact that the truck has ABS, so we also have an ASR, which is anti-wheel spin. And what we have here is an override switch that can easily disarm the function, allowing the wheels to spin in case of there is a need to break through ice or whatever. Freightliner Argosy is equipped with dual heater, ventilation and air conditioning systems, and that can be controlled independently from the driver's seat. So here we have obviously the controls for the main cabin, but also an override switch here for the controls in the sleeper box as well. So when the driver leaves and the fans in the sleeper box are going, it's very easy for the driver to override it whilst driving and not having to pull the truck up. Another feature on the Argosy is that the driver is able to increase the idle to charge the air pressure before departing on a trip. This is done through the cruise control. Firstly, the cruise control needs to be activated, and then we can up this to get at least 1000 RPM or if not 1200 RPM. And that way the driver can walk around checking the truck out while the truck is building up air pressure. To disarm it, simply put the switch down and the system is off. What we have down here is heater mirrors switch, so they can be activated if need be, and also footwell lights. And these are small red lights that light up the area beneath the pedals. So at night time the driver can see if there's anything down the bottom there that might foul with the brake pedal, like a bottle that's rolled forward or something like that. So again, it's another safety feature that the Freightliner Argosy has for the driver. At the heart of the instrument control is the driver message center. And what we have is basically a set of control keys here and a display up here on the dash. What that allows the driver is to monitor everything that the truck and the engine does at any point in time. We have two ways of controlling this. One is a set of dedicated keys, which you can see here. The driver can call up the outside temperature, fuel reading, the trip mileage, or the leg at any one time. And this can be operated while the truck is in motion. The navigation keys here to the right are set up that they can only be operated whilst the park brake is on for safety reasons. And what these navigation keys do, it just allows the driver to scroll through different screens, which are perhaps the engine data, vehicle data, diagnostic data, setup data, etc. And that allows the driver then to be able to monitor what's going on while stationary. And then obviously, as I said earlier, whilst in motion, you can use the dedicated keys only. What Freightliner have is one of the biggest and most powerful heater, ventilation and air conditioning system ever produced. Controlled by the driver, as mentioned earlier, but also what we have is an auxiliary system which has its own heater core and evaporator unit in the storage area to the right, and also the independent control here for the passenger, if not for the driver. And as you can see there, it's got fan speed, temperature control, lights, volume, etc. So you can actually set the truck up to have two different temperatures, and that can be isolated by the set of curtains here that close off the sleeper from the driver's compartment. Even with the mid-roof cabs, you can see that there's plenty of room for someone to stand up. I'm 6'1" and have plenty of room here to move around and get changed and that sort of thing. The 110-inch mid-roof is our flagship of the Argosy model range, and it has plenty of room here. We've got cabinets for televisions, we've got plenty of storage area here, as well as the wardrobe behind me here, and a desk there for the driver as well. So there's nothing that the driver can't do in here, and it does make it for a very comfortable living environment. Freightliner Argosy is one of the biggest selling models in the Australian market, and this is due to its versatility where it can cover just about every application. It's set new benchmarks in US-styled cab overs, and that we believe it provides a solution for Australian transport operators today. The Argosy is our best ever, first launched in late 1999. A lot of development and maturing has taken place in the Australian market. I'm Wheatley, and I hope you enjoyed our tour of the Freightliner Argosy. Thank you.